Hello all. Today we will see retrieval queries in SQL. So these are queries to retrieve data from the database. So outline of today's lecture, we will be studying about select from where, and we will be discussing about ambiguous attribute names and aliasing. So select from where is the most important retrieval query in SQL, and the syntax of the select from where is like this. Select will be supplying an attribute list to be selected. So select is very different from select of this linear algebra, I mean a relational algebra. So that is we will be supplying select attribute list to the select operation. Okay, these attributes will be selected, and we have from this table name we can list number of tables here. So from you can give multiple tables, then where is again a condition. So attribute list is a list of attribute names whose values are to be retrieved by the query. So this is a list of attribute names whose values are to be retrieved by the query. So here we are supplying a list of attributes, and their values will be retrieved by this query. And we have a table list, that is a list of the relation names required to process the query. So when we are given with a query, we need to process that query. For that we need some relations. Okay, so that relations or names of those relations will be given in the table list. And the condition is there, this where condition, and condition is a conditional, that is a Boolean expression that identifies the tuples to be retrieved by the query. Okay, this condition will identify the tuples to be retrieved by the query, and this will list the relation names that is used to process the query, and this will give you the list of attributes whose values are to be retrieved. Okay, and different conditions or conditional operations are like this. We have equal to, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, and not equal to. Okay, this symbol is used as not equal to. So that they are different operations that appear in this conditional Boolean expression. And we'll be focusing on the same relation, that is we have employee, then department locations, project, work zone, and dependent. We have talked about this many times. So let's see one example. Retrieve the birth date and address of the employees whose name is John D. Smith. How we can give the query? So we need to retrieve birth date and address of the employees. So when we talk about this employee relation, it has F name, middle name, middle initial, L name, SSN, B date, address, sex, salary, super SSN, and DNO. So we do not need all these details. We just need the first name and address, I think. No, the birth date and address. So that is, we can list the attributes after this select. Okay, so select B date comma address, and from the you need to specify the table list. Okay, so here we are retrieving details from a single table, that is employee. So from employee, and where the condition is F name is equal to John, that is our condition, John B. Smith. So F name is equal to John, middle initial equal to B, and L name is equal to Smith. Okay, so these are the conditions. So where F name is equal to John and middle initial equal to B and L name is equal to Smith. So that is the condition. So we can say B date and address, they are known as the projection attributes. Okay, so they are the attribute list and known as the projection attributes. Select vDate, address. They are projection attributes. And where is the selection condition? That is fname is equal to John, middle initial equal to B, and lname is equal to Smith. So we have these many conditions that is known as selection condition. So this will be returning birth date and address of John B. Smith only. Okay. So suppose birth date is this one and address is this, then this birth date and address will be returned as a result of this query. Select birth date and address from this employee table where fname is equal to John, middle name equal to B, and last name equal to Smith. And consider another example. Retrieve the name and address of all employees who work for the research department. Okay. So here we need to retrieve name and address of all employees who work for the research department. So how do you get these details? How do you know that one person is working for a particular department? In employee relation, as we can see, this employee relation has only department number, and department name is there in department relation only. Okay, we do not have department name in employee relation. So this query, that is to retrieve name and address of all employees who work for the research department, should take details from employee and department relation. Okay, so we need to select, the query will be like this: select name and address. So fname, lname and address, name and address from, we need to access two tables, that is employee and department, and the condition is where D name is equal to research and D number is equal to DN. Okay, so we need to get every tuple which satisfies DNO equal to D number, and there we need to take D name is equal to research. Okay, so this is how you can retrieve the name and address of all employees who work for the research department. The condition is D name is equal to research and D number equal to DNO. So this DNO is from the employee and D number is from the department. So when they are equal, you again search for D name is equal to research, and there you can select fname, lname and address. So here D number is equal to DNO is called a join condition. So this is a join condition because it joins two relations, employee and department. So DNO is equal to D number, that is a join condition. And this is a type of select project join query. Okay, this is a select project join query. And you will be getting details like this. You have fname, lname, address, and fname John Smith and address is there. So all these persons are working for the research department. How you get that? You combine or compare D number with DNO. If they are equal, then from that you will be taking D name is equal to research. Okay, and the tuples that satisfy this condition is John, Franklin, Ramesh, and Jules. Okay, so here D number is equal to DNO, and that is known as a join condition. And here in this query we do not have a join condition because we are using a single table. When we have two tables, to join these two tables we need a join condition. And this kind of a query, that is known as a select project join query. And another example, for every project located in staff 4, list the project number, then the control department number, and the department manager's last name, address, and birth date. Okay, so here the project location is equal to staff 4, and there we need to take the project number. Okay, then the controlling department number should be there, then department manager's first name, address, and birth date. Okay, so how do you get this? We have department number, department manager's address, then project location, all these details. So when you consider this, we have employee relation, FNAME, SSN. How do you know that he is a manager? So for that we make use of department relation. Manager SSN is there. And how do you get project location? That is from the project table. P name, P number, P location, D number. So this is actually join of 3 tables. So there P number, select P number, D number, L name, then address, birth date, and from project, department, employee, these 3 relations where D number, D num is equal to D number and manager SSN equal to SSN and P location equal to staff 4. Okay. So where we need to equate D number equal to D num equal to D number and manager SSN equal to SSN. So when these conditions are satisfied, then we need to check P location equal to staff 4. So we'll take all P number, D num, L name, address and B date when P location equal to staff 4. Okay. So here how many join conditions are there? We have D number equal to D number, then manager SSN equal to SSN, then P location equal to staff 4. So 2 join conditions are there, that is D number equal to D number and manager SSN equal to SSN. These 2 are actually joining 2 tables. Okay. D number, that is employee and department. So here again employee and department. So P location is where you have this. This is project and department, and this is department and employee. And P location equal to staff 4 is actually condition that is for the project relation. So we have 2 join conditions, P number, D num equal to D number and manager SSN equal to SSN. This is not a join condition, this is just a condition only. Okay. So when this, all the attributes that satisfies this condition will be selected. That is the attributes P number, D num, L name, address and B date will be selected. So these will be the output, that is 10 for values, then address, birth date. So that is P number, D number, L name, address and birth date. This will be returned. And consider the case of ambiguous attribute names and alias. So for example, we have seen retrieve the name and address of all employees who work for the research department. We have seen this example earlier. Research department, the name and address of all employees who work for the research department. So that was like we have selected F name, L name, address from employee department and where D name equal to research and D number is equal to department number. Okay, that was the case. Suppose the employee relation has F name, middle initial and L name. So instead of this L name, suppose the attribute name is name itself. Okay, attribute name, instead of L name we have name, a name, and for department instead of this D name we have name again. Okay, so that is we have 2 relations with the same attribute name, but they represent different things. So here name of a person and here it is name of a department. Suppose that is the case, then the query would be select F name, name, address from employee comma department and where name is equal to research and department number equal to department number. Suppose they both are same. That is for employee relation we have department number and for department relation we have department number. Okay, so they both represent 2 different tables, but we have the same name for these attributes. Okay. So that is actually when you say name, here select F name, name, address. So whether this is name of an employee or name of a department, and here we are using name is equal to research. So whether name is name or name of a department or name of an employee, that we do not know. So that these kind of attributes are known as ambiguous attributes. Okay. So how we can resolve this ambiguous attributes? So we can list this like this: select f name, comma employee dot name, comma address from employee department, where department dot name is equal to research and department dot d number is equal to employee dot d number. So we can use or we can resolve this ambiguity by listing the relation name dot attribute name. Okay, so that is employee dot name, that means name from the employee relation, or department dot name, that means name from the department relation. So like that we'll be able to resolve this ambiguity. And another case where we need to select employee name, that is, this is a query, there should be one space here, this should be aligned here. So select employee name, employee dot f name, employee dot l name, employee dot address from employee comma department, where department dot d name is equal to research and department dot d number is equal to employee dot d number. This is another way of writing this. Okay. So here we assume that name appears as L name for this employee relation and name appears as D for D name in department relation. Okay. So instead of that, suppose the case is same as that is given in the table. That is, we have M name, middle initial, L name, etc. Here D name. All these are there. Then this can be written as select employee dot f name, employee dot l name, employee dot address from employee department, where department dot d name is equal to research and department dot d number is equal to employee dot d number. Okay, this is another way of writing this ambiguous attributes. Okay, so here if you write like this, the ambiguity will be removed. And we can use aliasing for that also. Aliasing means we will be able to give name for this relations and attributes, new names for relations and attributes if they are ambiguous. That is, for each employee, suppose a query, for each employee retrieve the employee's first and last name and the first and last name of his or her immediate supervisor. Okay, so we need to retrieve employee's first name and last name and first name and last name of the employee's immediate supervisor. Okay, so we can give it like this. We can use select E from select E dot f name, E dot l name, S dot f name, S dot l name from employee as E, employee as S. So we have two aliases for this employee relation, that is E and S, employee as E and employee as S. And the condition is E dot super SSN equal to S dot SSN. Okay, if E dot super SSN equal to S dot SSN, then we need to give E dot F name, E dot L name, S dot F name and L dot L name. So here we are using aliases for this employee relation. So employee SE and employees, the same relation, nothing is going to happen to that relation, but we are making different names for them or aliases for them. And even you can give or make attributes, aliases for the attributes also. That is, employee as E, you can create it like this, employee as E, and you can rename these attributes also. Instead of F name, FN, middle initial, LN, SSN, DD, address XL, SSN, then DNO. This is alias for the relation employee as well as the attributes of the relation. Okay, that is alias, that is known as aliasing. Then this will be a result of this aliasing, that is, we have E dot F name, E dot L name, then S dot F name and S dot L name. That is a result of this particular query. Okay, that is employee's F name and last name and first name and last name of his or her immediate supervisor. So here John Smith, then supervisor's name is Franklin Wong, then Franklin Wong is the employee name and James Bob is its alias, etc. Okay, this is example for alias. Another example, select F name, L name, address from employee department, employee comma department, where D name is equal to research. That is, it will list names and addresses of employees who work for research department. You can write it like this. Select E dot F name, E dot L name, E dot address from employee as E, department as D, where D dot D name is equal to research and D dot D number is equal to E dot D number. Okay, that is another example for aliasing. So we will be able to use different names for the same relation. Okay. And next we will see an unspecified where clause. That is, a missing where clause indicates if this where clause is unspecified, which means we have a missing where clause. That indicates where clause is used to give conditions for selecting tuples from the table. Okay, so suppose we do not have a where clause, that indicates no condition on tuple selection. Okay, if no condition for tuple selection means we will be retrieving all tuples of the relation. Okay, so that is, all tuples of the relation specified in the from clause qualify and are selected for the query result. So this condition is not given, so all the tuples will be selected for the output. And if more than one relation is specified in the from clause and there is no where clause, what will happen? Suppose we have more than one relation is in the from clause, but where clause is not specified. So in that case, you need to take cross product of these relations and their result will be returned. Okay, so you will be taking cross product of this relation, and for example, we have an unspecified where clause, select SSN from employee. Okay, so here it will select all the SSN from the table. All SSN will be selected. But suppose we have given like this, that is, select SSN comma D name, department name, from employee comma department. So here where clause is missing, and from clause we have more than one relation name. So in that case, we will take cross product of these two relations and that result will be, and from that SSN and D name will be returned as the result of this particular query. So this will be the result. We have SSN and D name and we have from employee and department. So here we, D name means we have three departments here: research department, administration and headquarters, and there are 6 employees in the employee relation. Okay, 8 employees in the employee relation, and we have 3 departments in the department relation. So for 8 employees we'll have research as the department name, and for 8 employees we'll have administration, for 8 employees we'll have headquarters. Okay, this is the result of SSN. Select SSN comma D name from employee comma department, and here where is not there. So this is a cross product of employee and department, and we will be selecting SSN and D name only. And next is use of the asterisk. Suppose we have asterisk. For example, select star from employee where DNO equal to 5. So this star means that, or this asterisk means that we will be selecting all the tuples, all the attributes. Okay. So select usually will be listing an attributes. Okay. So list will be supplying attribute list here. So instead of attribute list, we are applying asterisk. So it means that we will be retrieving all the attributes from this employee relation where DNO equal to 5. So for example, this is the case, DNO equal to 5. So all the attributes will be selected. Okay, where DNO is equal to 5. That is asterisk. We will see some more example. That is select star from employee, comma department, where D name is equal to research and DNO is equal to department D number. Okay, so here we have two tables, and the joining condition is D name is equal to DNO equal to D number is a join condition, and D name is equal to research. That is, it will be selecting all the attributes for this employee department relation. Okay, where D name is equal to research and DNO equal to D number. And here select star from employee. So it means that it will select. So here where clause is also not there. It will select all the tuples from this employee table. Okay, with all the attributes. So here select star from employee, comma department. Here also it will select all the tuples from this employee and department relation. Okay, that's about this use of asterisk. Thank you.